Hello and welcome back to Ebenezer Cottage Garden. It feels like August, for me at least, is a real month of just catching up out here. July was such a washout with the rain that everything's gone a bit mad, including the weeds and all the rest, but there is some real success to be had from the extra rain. Things like these squash behind me seem to be doing really well. As you can see here, I've got a Hungarian blue. I've also got a French variety which I can't remember the name of, but I think in America we call them peanut pumpkins, which apparently look really quite ugly, but the taste is amazing. So it's really good to see things like this doing well out here. There is something in the garden which I'm going to try for the first time this year, which is picking my nasturtium pods and pickling them to make poor man's capers, because I absolutely love capers anyway. And I tried one of the seed pods yesterday just on its own, and it was so spicy and peppery that it would be interesting to see what they're like pickled. So we'll head over there now and have a look. All of the plants just here to the right of me are the crawling nasturtiums, which I put here just to fill in the space and also just to provide something for pollinators. The bees absolutely love the flowers. They're also a great distraction for cabbage white because they seem to go for these just as much, if not more than they do the brassicas. So it just provides them with something, and I hope that, you know, it's adding something to the ecosystem of the garden too. But also on top of all of that, the bonus is that 100% of the plant is edible from the flowers. You can eat these. To the leaves. Really nice and peppery that. But also these little seed pods here, which, as I mentioned before, you can pickle them and eat them as capers. So I haven't tried this before. I think I'm going to get in there and pick some and just try a jar this year and see what they're like. Be really interesting to see if that pepperiness comes through or if they just taste like a normal caper. But we'll find out. Well, that's not too bad, I don't think. Be really interested to see if they taste like normal capers or if that pepperiness comes through. Either way, I'll be happy, to be honest. I'll come back and pick a few more a bit later on to fill out the jar. My tomatoes in this greenhouse are excellent at the moment. Something that I've learnt this year just from observation is I think things like blossom end rot, for me at least, happen with that first wave, the first truss that ripens at the bottom of the plant, and the rest of them haven't been too bad, like maybe the odd bit here and there. But no, they're in full swing now. I'm getting loads of my cooking tomatoes, my Opalkas, which are that Polish variety that I absolutely love and do so well for me here. San Marzano as well, the Italian variety, is doing well too. My ox heart tomatoes are just fantastic with mozzarella and basil and a drizzle of olive oil. So I'm going to get these picked up now and we'll see how many we've got. That's quite a good harvest, considering this is coming in regularly now, which is excellent. But a little tip for you, I'd say, sometimes with these larger varieties, it's worth picking them when they're not fully red and just that sort of pink, slight pinkness to them. And the reason why is that they ripen from the inside out. So if you wait for some of the larger varieties to be really, really red, you might find that the middle is almost like a little bit too far gone. So you're better off, I'd say, picking them like this, and once you cut into them you'll be really surprised just how red they are, and delicious too. I'll put the names of the varieties that I've been growing down in the description below. Now I know it's not a terrible problem to have, but I've just got too much beetroot in this garden, and I've kind of learnt now that maybe next year I really don't need to plant as much. And I think the reason why I end up with so much of it is because I multi-sow, and it's a great way to do it. Like, I really enjoy it. You know, it's the way that Charles Dowding does it if you watch his videos, but it's just too much. So I think next year, rather than multi-sow and end up with hundreds upon thousands of beetroot, which, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst problem to have in the world, I'm just going to do some rows of some nice neat beetroot and go with that, I think. So we'll just jump in here now, pick the rest of these and see how many I end up with. As you can see, it's just too much beetroot. I've stored everything that I want to store, I've pickled it away for winter, and I think I'm just going to try and give the rest of these away. This one's really interesting though. It's one that had gone to seed, and you can see how big it is. Absolutely massive. It's probably no good now because it's gone to seed, so it might be a bit woody. Now that these are up in their place, I'm going to plant some chicories that I've got, which will be really nice throughout the cooler months. So we'll head back over there and get them in the ground. These are my chicory plants. I've got a mixture of different ones, some which you pick as a ball, some which you cut and come again, and yeah, a couple of new ones to try this year. So they're not all going to fit in this space that I've freed up, but I'll get some in here and then I will find spaces elsewhere to dot in the rest. Well, that's all of the chicory in the ground now, and I'm really excited to see what the cut and come again varieties taste like, and I'll definitely keep you posted on that too. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed having a look around, and fingers crossed I'm not alone in feeling like everything's gotten a little bit out of hand this year, but hopefully we've got some dry weekends, some dry evenings that we can crack on and get things sorted so that we've got a nice autumn ahead of us. If you enjoyed what you've seen, do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.